Now, in your experience, has anyone ever tried to make you feel bad or like less of a reader just for liking science fiction or horror novels or genre fiction? Well, we're not going to be doing that today, or basically ever. My core belief when it comes to this is that everybody should read what they want. Like there are no right or wrong books to read, with some shameful exceptions. But I've got to admit that I'm just now kind of admitting to myself that I actually do really, really enjoy reading horror novels. And I guess I always have enjoyed reading them because looking back on my reading list, I see some great horror novels on there. And of course, I love science fiction. And you know what? C.S. Lewis, if you ever need any sort of like highbrow backing for this position, here's what he said. He said that a children's book that can only be enjoyed by children is a bad children's book. But it is not children's books we're here to discuss today. It is horror novels. And I want to share a few of the great horror novels I'm reading right now. There's some really, really good ones. And I'm always looking for more recommendations in this genre or any other genre. So leave them below if you got them. The first horror novel I want to recommend, though, is actually I Am Legend by Richard Matheson. I know you should never judge a book by its movie. I happen to really like the movie version, but as they say, and they're usually right, the book was better. And especially the very last page or last couple of pages of I Am Legend is just one of the best endings. It is such a great ending. It's just spectacular. And that actually reminds me of another book that is so totally worth reading. I think it came out in like 1908 or something like that, around that time. It's Henry James, The Turn of the Screw. It's been adapted thousands of times, like literally thousands of times into movies, TV shows, plays. It is spectacular. And in that book, it's the exact same way. So the entire book is really good, or novella, really. It's quite short. But the very last page, and even the very last sentence, the last word on the very last page is just such a thunderbolt from nowhere. Man, Henry James is spectacular. And speaking of like highbrow, there's another Henry James book called The Ambassadors. That's really good if you want somewhat of a literary challenge. He was abusing EM dashes way before ChatGPT ever showed up, so he can be a little tiny bit difficult to read sometimes, but it is so indescribably worth it. One of my favorite novelists, and The Turn of the Screw is just spectacular. And a few old ones that I've also read, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. It was so much better than I ever expected it to be. The monster in that book is more literate than I am. It's not particularly scary. Maybe it was for the time. So it's not like a scary book that you read, like only by candlelight or whatever. Although I did read The Turn of the Screw by candlelight, and that definitely added a little something to it. But Frankenstein is just such a literary masterpiece. I absolutely loved it. Then the other one was Dracula by Bram Stoker, and that's really good too. It's not as good, I don't think, as Frankenstein. I mean, it's personal choice. Like, I'm not going to fight too hard over which one is better. They're both really, really good. And then Shirley Jackson. She's just another novelist that I really, really like. And her book, The Haunting of Hill House, again, it's been adapted numerous times. I enjoyed what Mike Flanagan did with it in the Netflix series. I actually watched that series twice. Like, it was really, really good. I'll watch anything that Mike Flanagan produces. And she's got another book that's not as well known, I don't think, but it's called We Have Always Lived in the Castle. And that is just atmospheric as well. Like, you really. I think I made a mistake reading that one in the summertime outside. I think I would have enjoyed it better if I read it inside. The plot of that book is family who are basically reclusive. They're hiding from the townspeople, more or less. But I read it outside with blue jays and squirrels flying around. The blue jays were flying around, not the squirrels, and eating peanuts in my backyard. So I feel like I would have enjoyed it even more if I had read it inside my castle. There are a few others, of course, I've enjoyed over the years. We've got Salem's Lot, The Outsider, The Institute, Billy Summers. Those are all kind of well-known Stephen King books. I'm a big fan of him. The Mist. Mist. I almost missed that one. That's stupid. This video is sponsored by Book Genius. It's a book app that I use personally every single day. I'm actually an advisor to the company, which is pretty damn cool. That doesn't come with a salary or anything, but I offer input to develop the app and make it better over time. It's a really good app for solidifying your learning, and there's quizzes, and you can join book clubs on the app. I'm starting a book club on the app myself, and so if you want to return to these ideas on a consistent basis, really solidify your learning, test yourself over time, which is great for learning and remembering more of what you read, check out Book Genius in the video description. And when you use my affiliate link, you get 56% off the annual version. Thank you, Book Genius, for sponsoring this video. But now I'm just going to take a few minutes to tell you about the horror novels I got on the go right now. And I've got more than one on the go because I couldn't stop myself, it being spooky season. It's October 29th when I'm recording this. And let's see. So first, I've got 11/22/63 by Stephen King. This one's pretty massive. It's almost like a time travel horror novel. It is very, very good. And I read the first 100 pages on a short flight not too long ago, and I've kind of been picking away at it ever since. It doesn't feel that long. Once I get to page 700, 800, where I'm kind of nearing the end, I'm not really going to want to leave his sort of 1963 world. He's just the master. Like, he's just really, really good. Obviously, not everybody loves Stephen King. Some people say he's overrated or, whatever. Like, you don't have to like anybody. You don't have to read anything. It's completely and totally up to you. It's one of the best things about books and reading. Like, nobody gets to decide what you read and what you enjoy except you. But yeah, I mean, he's not massively popular for no reason. And so yeah, really enjoying this one. Then there's two that I'm reading on my phone. One's called You Like It Darker, which is a collection of short stories. I'm ripping through this one. It's also 700 pages. He's got two of the stories in there that are like short novellas. One I'm reading now, what's the guy's name? Danny Coughlin's Dream, it's called. If you've read it, that means I'm about 200 pages in. And again, I'm just ripping through it. And it's just, I don't know, he can do everything. He can write a 900-page monster of a novel, something that must have just taken an immense amount of effort over just a sustained period of time to create this entire, like, man, 11/22/63, it's just great. But then he'll write this super short, little tiny short story to take 10 minutes, 15 minutes to read, if that. And, I don't want to say they're just as good, but they have a certain power to them, I guess is what I'm saying. And so, yeah, You Like It Darker is really good. So that's one I'm reading on my phone. And then we've got At the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. And this is the first book by him that I've read, although I do know that he is beloved by many. Like, he is one of the progenitors of like the horror genre. Like, it's, basically everyone comes after him. Like, he is revered in that genre, and I'm gonna find out why. And then the last book here, actually, okay, so this kind of reminds me of The Turn of the Screw in one respect. So it's called Mr. X by Peter Straub, and it's the first book of his that I've read. But what I've heard is that the last sentence in this book changes everything that you thought you had read before in like previous 600 pages. Like, I hear it just, again, like The Turn of the Screw, that last sentence, that last word just comes out of nowhere with this lightning bolt that just strikes you. So I've heard the exact same thing happens in the very last sentence of this book, which is one of the reasons the reason that I'm not going to be looking at any comments on this video until I finish this book, because I don't want anybody to ruin this for me. Because I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm on page like 70 or so. It's really quite good, and it's drawing me further into the horror genre. It's making me want to read more and more novels like this, more by him, just more horror novels in general, which is why I want your recommendations. So leave those down in the comments. Thanks very much for watching this video, and if you want to build an unbreakable reading habit, you're going to want to watch this video right here. Happy reading!
I don't waste time, no, I make time. All these people wanna hate, fine, I'ma make mine. While you sitting there complaining, I'll be training. While you sitting there just waiting, I'm creating. Yeah.